Hey guys, welcome to the video. Today I'll be discussing why the CDL should change its current championship format and why it's flawed. Personally, I've been watching professional Call of Duty since the Black Ops 2 days, and recently I've been thinking about the Champs format. Why should one tournament at the end of the year decide the winner of the CDL? Can't you just tank until Champs? Well, I'll be offering my opinion on what I think the best way to decide the champion of the CDL season and how to implement this change. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like and comment below if you agree or disagree with my new championship format and what you would change. With that, let's hop right into the video. I'm going to start by going over the current flaws I see in the CDL championship format. Currently, the CDL season is laid out like this. The regular season consists of 5 major tournaments and 1 playoff tournament. Each tournament gives rise to its own championship, and the final tournament of the season, the playoffs, crowns the champion of the entire CDL season. Now personally, I have a few problems with this system. To start, the only tournament of the entire season that does not include every team is the playoffs. How can a CDL team claim that it is the champion of the entire season if every team does not have a shot to win that final tournament of the season? Is it not harder to win a tournament with every team included? While yes, it is the top 8 teams of the season, Call of Duty is all about momentum and streaks, and a team can be the hottest team in the league, win the final tournament, and still not have a shot in playoffs because of the current format. Now, the counter argument to this would be, in traditional sports, every team is not included in the playoffs, like baseball, basketball, or football. My response to this would be the setup of the scheduling and season is fundamentally different between traditional sports and the CDL. The CDL hosts tournaments across the season, crowning winners at each one, whereas traditional sports only play regular games, which are the equivalent to group play in the CDL. Simply put, traditional sports play group play to set up the seeding for their single season tournament to crown a champion. Because of this, the CDL cannot claim a sole team based off one single tournament played at the end of the season, when 5 other tournaments are played throughout the course of a season. One team could dominate every tournament throughout the year, but if they come in second just once at the end of the season, they are not the champion? I don't see how this could be as right, as there are so many changes that go on during a CDL season, which leads me into my next point. During the CDL season, the Call of Duty title undergoes numerous updates, meta changes, GAs, and even map changes. The updates can change anything from minor bug fixes, perk adjustments, to complete gun nerfs or buffs, which can swing the meta of the game from certain guns and perks to others. As these changes occur, more GAs can be implemented by the players to ban certain guns or spots on the maps. With updates also come new maps, which replace old maps that need to go. Fortress control. Because of the amount of change that occurs during a season, the meta at the end of the season can favor some teams over others. This can cause a team clearly leading the standings to become not as strong right before the playoff tournament. This is unfair to that team on top if they were dominating all season to have the title stripped from them because of a simple update that is out of their control. In traditional sports, the ball size or rules or even field size does not change during the course of a season. They are consistent, so having a single tournament to decide the champion at the end of the season is completely more fair than the way the CDL has it set up. A good consistent team throughout the year will not get awarded for being the best over multiple iterations of the same game essentially. You only crown the champion for one specific meta and one specific update with certain bugs or gun balancing in or out of the game at the end of the season when Champs occurs. With this being said, those are the issues I have with the current layout of playoffs and Champs in the CDL. Next, I'm going to move into my proposed solution to determine the champion of the CDL. Moving into my solution, I researched how other sports comparable to the CDL determine their champions. My proposal would be to restructure the points awarded to teams from major tournaments and crown the champion as the team with the most points at the end of the season. Most of my inspiration comes from Formula 1, a racing series, championship structure. I chose F1 to base my solution off of for a few reasons. The first reason was because, like the CDL, the F1 season crowns winners after each race. These races are similar to tournaments in that there is a winner named after each race, but there is not a single race that determines the winner of a whole season. Additionally, the F1 calendar hosts 20 unique races, meaning teams must be able to adapt and change to new conditions. This is similar to how professional CDL players must adapt to update, meta, and map changes they face throughout the season. I mean, these changes are serious sometimes. Look into the Cold War season. They had the XM4, where the meta was completely different with this gun. Then it got GA'd, and this caused the flex on most teams to have to choose between the AR or the sub of that game. The M4 was also in the current season at the beginning. Some teams were great during this meta and some weren't, but you cannot deny that there was some shakeup in the league in terms of who was on top and who was on bottom. The Cold War season also had a lot of map changes because it launched with a historically low amount of maps. So Apocalypse, Standoff, and Raid all came into the CDL season mid-season. There were also many map, gun meta, and weapon balancing changes in the Cold War season that is not really fair to crown the champion based off one tournament at the end of the season versus a team that is consistent across all those updates and map changes and meta changes. They're more consistent. They aren't better just on one specific update or meta change. It is simply not fair. Because of these facts, I believe that CDL should crown a champion based on the overall season performance and not a single tournament. But how exactly will they do this? Well, don't you worry. I will overlay the point structure and scheduling for this new championship format. Starting with scheduling, the league should get rid of group play that currently exists before each major tournament. Doing this will allow the league to increase the number of tournaments played in a year, which I propose to be 14 tournaments. Restructuring the 2023 season, for example, I would have one tournament played the third weekend of December 2022, 2 in January, 1 the first and third weekend, 2 in February on the first and third weekends again, 1 in March in that third weekend, 2 in April, the first and third weekends, 1 in May, the first weekend, with an all-star weekend the following weekend, 2 in June in the first and fourth weekends, 2 in July in the second and fourth weekends, and a final tournament in August in the second weekend. While this is a significant increase in the amount of tournaments played, the elimination of group play takes away 15 weeks of play, so there will actually be less weekends of CDL matches. This will be beneficial as tournament play is more exciting and brings more viewers to the CDL, gives teams more chances to prove themselves in tournament play, and will allow more opportunities to gain high-value points for teams. Seeding going into tournaments will be based on the current standings going into the tournament. So first place in the standings prior to the tournament will have the 1 seed, and last place will have the 12 seed. The first tournament seedings will be based off the final standings of the prior season. Now, I know this is a lot of tournaments for the CDL to schedule and host, so if they did half in person and half online to provide fans with a still increased amount of tournaments to attend, but to not overload the league and players with too much traveling. I know that online Call of Duty tournaments are not as exciting or what players want to see, but it is a problem that the CDL does not have enough money right now to host that many tournaments. It is not the best or ideal solution, and in a perfect world they would all be in person, but it is probably a logistical and money thing that they cannot host all 14 of these tournaments in person. The next hurdle to get over is scoring. Moving into scoring, I plan on having only the top 8 teams at each tournament score points, with the team that has the best map, not match record, in the tournament scoring additional points. The point breakdown will be the following. 7th and 8th place get 1 point. 5th and 6th get 3 points. 4th place gets 5 points. 3rd gets 7. 2nd gets 8. And 1st place gets 10 points with an additional point going to that team with the best map record. This point will only be awarded to a team in the top 8 and will be based on the map win percentage. Quick editing note, I will not be giving points away for match wins, just for the placements inside of the tournaments. So they currently give points for winning a match in tournaments and for group play. I won't be doing that. This point structure will award the consistent top teams while keeping the mid-tier teams competitive throughout the year. The point structure will also keep any team from clinching a championship too early in the season, so viewers and teams will still want to watch and play throughout the whole season. While I know this is not the perfect way to handle the CDL championship, this, in my opinion, is the best solution and significantly better than the current system. The current system simply has too many flaws and honestly ruins some of the competitive integrity of the league. A change should really be considered by the league, and I hope some players and other influencers see this video and think the same thing. I think this new format will be beneficial for team and player development as well. By having a larger emphasis on consistency, teams will be more content on allowing rosters to gel and really work well together. This will help players feel more secure while still keeping the play integrity of the league at an all-time high. But that's just my opinion. If you agree or disagree, leave a like and a comment on what you agree or disagree about. Thanks for watching and hope you have a great day.